Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders, and welcome to part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the week of July 18th through July 22nd, where we will update our watch list for the trading week for this week with the various stock symbols, ETFs, etc. that we want to watch to potentially trade for this week. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the week of July 18th through 22nd. So again, we'll jump right in. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, we would highly recommend that you view that. It's called Inflation is Hot, 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 and Inflation is Sticky. That provides all the market analysis, all the inputs. We look at the indices, the sectors, etc., do all our analysis, which then guides us in selecting our stocks to put on our watch list for this coming week. So we'll start off and we'll talk about some of the trades that we made this week. And we'll start by talking about big lots. We got stopped out of our long position in big lots with a nice profit, ROI of about 11%, which equates to a monthly equivalent of about 56% on this scalp and swing trade. So congratulations again to all of our fellow BeachBum traders who also profited from this scalp swing trade on big lots. And we will continue to watch big lots to see if it comes back down and gives us another opportunity to swing scalp it again. But nice profit on big lots. And we'll talk about DNN. That was one of the uranium plays that we got. We got it back on the 6th. We got stopped out on the 12th for about a 6.5% profit, which equates to a 32% profit. So congratulations to our BeachBum traders who also profited on this trade on DNN. As you'll see, we're putting DNN and our other uranium plays are on our watch list for this week. Again, we're looking for opportunities in the uranium sector, and we have several stocks that we're currently watching, both in our real-time watch list and on our Bullpen to play uranium. Another new position for this week is we are now long MP Materials, ticker symbol MP. We went long on the 14th at 28.49. We've had MP on our watch list for a couple weeks. We moved it up from the Bullpen into the real-time watch list and then went long when we got that opportunity. And we'll look at that when we review our watch list in Webull. You can hear more about our thesis behind MP in last week's weekly trading game plan. And also as a bonus for those of you that are watching our game plan today is I just finished a due diligence video on MP Materials. It is still under construction. We don't have a thumbnail for it or tags, etc., so it's not published anywhere yet. But again, as a bonus for watching our game plan, you can go to the notes, and here is the link to that due diligence video. You can watch it. Again, our notes are the link to the Google Drive where our notes are stored, both for this weekly trading game plan and many of our previous ones are in the description box below. So you can find the notes from many of our weekly trading game plans there. It provides all the links, etc., and future reference. Good morning, Specula. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you again. Hopefully you just heard that I did the due diligence video on MP Materials that you had requested. Again, it's unlisted, still under construction. I just finished it this morning, and I still need to put it together and get a thumbnail, etc. But you can view it now, hear why we went long on MP Materials. Again, I won't spoil the conclusion of the due diligence. You'll see why I was happy with that position. Also, UROY is another uranium play, and this was mentioned yesterday. I think Tanbeer and someone else may have mentioned this. And yes, we are playing UROY as one of our uranium plays. We were long as of the 6th. We got stopped out on the 11th for a small profit, about 1%, about 8% a month. So small, but we'll take profits. And then we put it back on our watch list, and then we went long again on the 14th, bought it back cheaper. Again, that's part of our strategy. We're going to protect our profits. If we get stopped out because it rolls over, looks like it's headed lower, that's okay. We'll take a small profit. We'll buy it back cheaper, which is what we did with URLY. You'll see we're long again as of the 14th at 212. So we bought it back cheaper, and we'll play this game again, and we'll swing it back up. So good morning, Walter. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you again. We also got stopped out of our other uranium play. Essentially, all of the uraniums rolled over. When energy and oil and natural gas took a dump, it just dragged all the energy sector down. And that's kind of what's going on with the uranium plays, is they're tending to move with the XLE, with the uranium, or with the energy sector, which is fine. When they push energy up, they go up, and we can benefit from that. Eventually, I'm hoping that uranium will diverge from oil and natural gas, as it's viewed as a more clean energy. I'll pitch the uranium plays a little more in a second when we get into our watch list. But those are our trades from last week. And if you'd like to get real-time alerts on our trades, you can become a member of our Patreon. I try to post those out to our Patreon members as soon as possible after we make the trades, and then also in the alerts channel in our Discord. So I will show you both the Thinkorswim alerts channel. So I set price alerts for my target prices and for my stops, etc. in Thinkorswim. They get triggered, and we have automation that posts them automatically to this Thinkorswim channel in our Discord, and then I'll follow that up if we actually place a trade with our position, etc. So you can see here's our trade on MP, our trade on URLY, etc. If it wasn't based on a Thinkorswim alert, then I'll just post it in the trade alerts, which also has some automation. So these all get picked up as quickly as I can get them out to our Patreon members. You can get alerted on the trades we make. Again, we're not saying you need to follow us. I think it's better for you to learn to trade for yourself. We're here to teach you how to fish, how to trade for yourself, your style, your situation. We're just telling you, here's what we're doing, and hope that you can benefit from that. You can also find the invite to our Discord in the description box below. Also on our home page in the link section, you can find a link to our Patreon, a link to our Discord, etc. Our homepage is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U, and you can find all the links to our tools, platforms we use, all our social media, etc. there. And again, there's an invite to our Discord, so lots of places you can find that. So we hope that helps. Again, that's our trades for the week. We've got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to try to go kind of quickly. I hope that's okay. So now we'll talk about what changes we made to our watch list, and then we'll jump over to Webull and actually look at charts, etc. So one of the ones we're adding to our watch list this week is Bdry, and this is an ETF that tracks its long on dry bulk shipping. And dry bulk shipping is, these Greek shippers, the other seas. I think there's some old ones that I used to trade, dry ass tops, etc. And I don't like those individual stocks, but this seems to be bottoming out. And I've had some discussions with some other traders that this dry bulk pricing may be bottoming, and when it turns up, we could turn a nice profit. Good morning, Captain Maddie. Glad to see you again. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to add that to our watch list. We're looking for a bottom and a turn in the dry bulk shipping prices. Again, I don't like the individual shippers because they have a tendency to, they will run. So if you're a very nimble day trader, you can make good money on them, but just be very careful with them because they have a tendency to pop and drop, and they'll drop an offering on you. They'll reverse split. They'll reverse split you into oblivion. We've gotten burned by them in the past. So I try to stay away, but with an ETF, I like the sector. I like the theme going forward. We've had Bud on the watch list for a while. It's a little high. I don't know. It may have run away. We might have to let it go. And we talked about that. We want to get back in DNN if we can. It rolled over. Hopefully it'll bottom again. Here's another one, and this is a theme we talked about yesterday, which is the euro and the European stock markets. We saw that the European stock markets and the Europe and the euro have really tanked, and that may present an opportunity. So this is a Bull 3X leveraged ETF on the Europe FTSE market. So we're looking for a bottom in the European market and a swing up. Again, I expect Europe, is going to trail the U.S., but when that bottoms, I think there's a lagging opportunity here. So we're going to watch that ETF for it to bottom and swing up. Talk about Markforged for a couple weeks. We've had it on the watch list. We'll see where it is. Talked that we're already long MP. If you're not already long MP, MP materials, you can see our due diligence video referenced above, and take that opportunity if that presents itself. Another one we've had on our watch list for a little while is Pitney Bowes, and that's another one. Again, another bonus for you for being here for our weekly trading game plan. Is this morning I also did a due diligence video on Pitney Bowes. Again, it's unlisted, it's under construction, there's no thumbnail, etc. yet. We're still working on it, but because you're here today, you can watch that due diligence video on Pitney Bowes and see what we think about Pitney Bowes. So again, you can get that link from the notes, again, from this Google document that's in the Google Drive reference, and I'll drop the actual link in a comment after this live stream finishes. So good morning, Tanavir. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you again. Also, we're looking at a long, I think we talked about this, it was probably in our bullpen for a couple weeks, as we're looking at a long in semiconductors. It has run up a little bit, but if we get a little bit of a push, a downtrend in tech, downtrend in the NASDAQ, we're looking now to go long semiconductors. The only other thing to listen for, and this may be the catalyst to push it down, is that CHIPS Act. If that doesn't get passed, it may push semiconductors down. And again, long term, we think now semiconductor long is the place to be going forward. Again, there's a long cycle play, but it's a commodity. It cycles up and down. So now we're going to play it long. When it peaks, we'll play it short with a success. So we talked about URLY, how got stopped out, and then we went long again. So we're currently long URLY. So again, if you're not already long URLY, it's a uranium play you might want to take a look at. Another exciting one is USOI, and this is the crude oil equivalent of the Credit Suisse ETNs that we have for gold and silver that pay a monthly dividend. This guy popped up in one of my queries, and as being relatively cheap, which was surprising because oil's still in the 95-ish area, testing 100 again. But USOI has come down. So we're going to watch it trail down. But if this guy bottoms and turns up again, it pays a very nice monthly dividend. You can see the dividend yields 22.5%. So I would buy a big chunk of this if it bottoms and turns up. Again, I'm excited about that one. I've always wanted to get a chunk of that one. This is another good inflation hedge. It's on oil. It's going to move with energy rather than we still have gold and silver and those, and it's just going to pay a monthly dividend, a nice monthly dividend while we watch. And Captain Matty Pitney Bowes video on YouTube. Yep. And the link. Yep. The link is in the game plan notes for this week in that Google Doc. So again, it's unlisted, so eventually I'll premiere it or schedule it for publication once it gets cleaned up and finished. So Another uranium play, UUUU. Again, we got stopped out. Again, all these, we'll scoop them back up if they bottom and turn up again. BTI, we're watching for the previous 52-week low. Again, we're still in a bear market. It may break. I have large orders sitting there at 180, 168 probably, and they're sitting there. So if the markets do break down and that hits, now if the market goes lower than that, I'm okay with this price. Eventually, this is a long-term investment, and eventually the markets will turn back up. I have very large orders sitting there waiting for the market to turn down. I thought we might catch it last week, and it didn't quite do it, and then it turned back up. So I'm reading some of the comments a second. Yes, Captain Maddie. Yeah, I would really like to find the time to talk about, how to trade in a Roth IRA, where to put your dividend payers so you don't get taxed on them, etc. Yes, put them in your Roth dividend payers. If it's in a cash account, you're going to pay taxes on the dividends as well as on your gains, etc. Again, areas I just have to find the time to do videos on. I'm just, buried, swamped. So, and again, you can get real-time updates as we make updates to this during the week. We post them out to our Patreon members. There's also a channel in our Discord for our Patreon members that has our watch list updates. So I try to, post those out as we're making updates as well. So again, if you want to get intra-week updates, you can join our Patreon, and it's always appreciated. So now we'll jump over to Webull, and we'll actually quickly spin through the charts. As a big dividend, yes, it is. USOI is great. Again, GLDI, SLBO, USOI are all these Credit Suisse monthly dividend paying guys that I really like, because even though gold and silver are down, so they're below our price, but we're collecting monthly dividend, so I'm happy with it. If it pops up and I can take a profit and then buy it back lower and collect the dividend again, that's what we do. So I'm happy to see USOI come down where I might be able to get a nice chunk of it. And then again, even if oil goes down, I'll just sit there and collect the monthly dividend until it goes back up. So that's fine. Yeah, I think USOI is long oil. I mean, I'll try to jump over to FinViz. Actually, I'll show you that. You can find the FinViz link off our homepage too in the tools links. So easy way to get all the tools that we use. Just go to our homepage, go to links section. I'll let that come up. Okay, let's look at USOI. I could have looked at it in Webull as well. So you can see it's a covered call, ETN. So, and you can see where it's sitting at that support level, at least short term. And is he not going to tell me the profile? Okay, so let's go to Webull and look at USOI. And again, just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, this is our favorite trading platform. They're still offering 6 free stocks. So you can get, just by opening an account, you can get 2 free up to $300 each. And then depositing any amount, even a penny, you can get 4 more free stocks worth up to $3,000 each. So again, if you're not already using Webull, you might as well at least get your 6 free stocks. And Webull, again, is our favorite platform anyway. So okay, so if I jump over here to my watch list, come on, and then I go down to USOI, and then in Webull, this lower panel, so you can see kind of where my target price is, about 440. I'd like it. And then on any of these on the stock screen, you can pop up this lower page. We can see their profile. So seeks to link, okay, Credit Suisse WTI, so it's based on WTI index. It's a covered call strategy, so they're essentially selling covered calls against that index. So yeah, it's just long oil. Cool. And another thing that's nice here is, let's see, can we see? We see options, we see news. They just came out. Another thing I saw is they came out with the dates for their payouts. So you'll see in the notes I included when the next ex-dividend date is, which you can see it's Tuesday. So Monday is the last day you can buy USOI to collect the dividend for this month. Now again, I wouldn't necessarily pay up because what's going to happen is on the 19th it's going to drop 17 cents because of the dividend. Typically when dividend stocks go ex-dividend, it gets discounted for the value of the dividend, so it's going to drop 17 cents on Tuesday. So it depends if you really want this month's dividend, you might have to pay up a little bit because it's a little bit higher, but you would then get the 17-cent dividend for this month. So I hope that all helps. Yeah, I use top gainers and losers in pre-market too, Captain Matty. Yeah, that's part of my 4 a.m. routine, as well as some other screeners, hottest screeners. There seems to be an issue with my hottest screener lately. I haven't bothered to figure it out all that much. So here's our watch list charts. You can see where our kind of notional target prices are, where they're sitting. So I tend to put a line and then I'll put an alert so I get a system notification when it triggers. Again, I'm waiting for it to come back down. We can see I may have missed the bottom on BDRY. It may already be headed up, but we'll see if I get another shot at it. Budweiser, again, is running a little high. We'll see if it comes down or not. There's a video. If you search on our channel and search for 4 a.m., it has my 4 a.m. process, and it goes through the hottest screeners, etc. So I would recommend taking a look at that. I don't want to jump ahead and spend too much time. I'll mention I'm working on a video for my post-market process as well, and I'll talk about that when we get to the ETF spreadsheet, etc. So there's Bud, DNN. Again, we'd really like it around 92, ideally, but anywhere under $1 is pretty good with DNN. You can see it tends to bounce pretty quick, and that $1 area is pretty good support. You see 95 looks pretty good too. So here's that European ETF. So again, you see it's a little bit choppy. We'd like it around here, maybe a little lower around that support level. Mark forwards we've been watching. You see I kind of missed the bottom on that one. It's run up a little bit. I'd like it to come back down. We'll see. 3D printers were getting a bit of a bid last week, which was nice because we own several others, but we'll see. Pitney Bowes, we talked about that. You can see the due diligence video on Pitney Bowes. You can see it looks pretty stable around here. It looks like it's potentially bottoming. Hopefully we'll get it ran up a little bit Thursday, Friday. So we'll look for an opportunity to get in Pitney Bowes. Yeah, the euro again. The euro and European stock market, that EURL. Yeah, we really want to see it have a stable bottom because the trend's going to be down. But I think it's a decent long-term play. And again, we looked at the U.S. dollar versus euro, and it was so extreme. I think we're going to see a reversion. So I think there's an opportunity there. And you saw the FTSE, the European stock market again. The reaction was pretty extreme. And I like irrational reactions because they tend to swing back the other way. So, yep. I agree, Walter. If you zoom out on Pitney Bowes, it looks like a turnaround. And again, you'll hear more of my details in that due diligence. Here's that USOI guy. I would like it cheaper. I think, it's got some room to come down because oil is still in the 95 range. But again, if you want to get the dividend for this month, then you're going to have to get it on Monday. So here's UUUU. You see it went up and then it rolled over. We got stopped out. We're waiting for it to really come back down here. We'd like it cheaper. I'm a cheapskate. Hope you guys probably figure that out. So again, just because I do it a certain way, I'm not saying you need to or even should do it that way. I'm a cheapskate. I don't like to chase stuff. I want it cheap because, in my humble opinion, there's always other opportunities. So I'm fine with, I don't suffer a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. There's some I really want. I really would like a chunk of this USOI. I may pay up on that one, but otherwise I'm pretty much a cheapskate. So. Again, not financial advice. If you're a momentum trader, breakout trader, etc., your strategy for playing these can be very different from mine. Okay, VTI again. We're waiting for it to break its or hit or break its 52-week low, which would be further downside on all the markets, and then a constant play, a daily play you can make money with is longing and shorting, ideally shorting the Chinese tech stocks with yang and yen. Hopefully y'all got into this run up. I know a number of people have been playing this. Right now the trend is, China short China, which is great. That's my favorite. I'm not as fond of longing China. My target for yen is down like 60 or so. So my tendency is not to long, but anytime I can catch a bottom on yang, it's one of my favorite plays. I think there's just way too many potential catalysts to cause this kind of run up in yang, and I think Spacula and several other people have started playing yang as well. So hopefully you're making money or will again in the near future. Boy, thank you, Spacula. That's very generous and greatly appreciated. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you for that super chat. Again, it is very much appreciated. I don't think I can convey that enough. So thank you again, and thank you for all your participation and all your help in the Discord. Spacula's been very helpful in helping us grow the community. So everybody, please join me in thanking Spacula for all his help. So. Okay, we'll talk about our bullpen stocks. Again, if you're new to our channel, the concept of a bullpen is, a real-time watch list. We were watching a real-time during the day. I have automation that's watching the price and spinning through them as fast as possible. And then the bullpen is a set of stocks that aren't quite ready for prime time, not ready to be put in the game yet. So we just revisit them at the end of the day, see if the setup looks better. If they've run away or broken down, we'll take them out of the bullpen. If the setup looks better, then we'll put them in the game and move them up to our real-time watch list. So Clicks is an interesting one. It is long e-commerce, long online retail, and short on brick and mortar stores. So we'll take a look at that guy. You heard some of the the retail numbers from June came out better than expected. Which either way, this guy should do good. We had Amazon Prime days seem to do okay, not super great, but. Here's another ETF that's interesting is Chile. and I do know they've got some inflation problems, which is a little bit of a concern, a little bit of a negative. But the reason this was recommended to me, and this is another recommendation from Easy Mike, a guy I chat with a lot in the Benzinga show chats. Very helpful. He recommended this, and primarily due to its lithium. Chile has a lot of lithium. That's a major supplier of lithium, and you will hear people say we can't produce enough lithium for all the lithium-ion batteries we want for EVs and energy storage, etc. And so this is a play. It looks potentially attractive, and we'll take a look at it in a second. Got Ford we've had on for a while. FONR is a medical device, profitable medical device company we've been watching for a while. RETL is a bull, just general bull leveraged ETF on retail. Again, we heard retail had a good June. I kind of expect them to have a good July because of this Christmas in July, Amazon Prime days, etc. People pre-buying for back to school at Christmas. They haven't run out of money yet. So I think this looks like it had bottomed. And we'll see if we can get an opportunity. Again, once this guy tops out, though, I think when people run out of money, inflation's out of control, etc., we would take our profits in that. ULE is the euro one I mentioned. Again, this is a long on the euro. We saw the euro got slammed below parity on the US dollar. I think, again, that was an exaggerated move, and we can take advantage of that exaggeration and long the euro. Again, I can't trade Forex right now in my retirement accounts. So this is a way I've learned with these ETFs, I can essentially do the same thing without having to trade Forex. So one of these days, maybe I'll get directly into Forex, but for now, I can find some ETFs, and I've added some to our spreadsheet I'll show you to be able to trade currencies. So another uranium play is URNM. I know this is a popular one, Sprott uranium. It's a little high, as we'll see, but I am watching it. Boy, thank you, Captain Matty. I, again, very, very much appreciate the super chat. That's very much appreciated. Thank you. So now, if we look at our Bullpen watch list, and again, if you're kind of new to our channel or new to Webull, you can create any number of watch lists. It's a really nice feature. I can just flip over. Here's my Bullpen. I like to do this in the stock screen. You can do it in your watch list tab as well. And just to quickly show you, kind of the trick is you can click on one and then go to the stock screen, and it'll be auto-selected. And then so you can watch it in the tabular form on the watch list tab, and then flip back to the stock screen and spin through them. So at the end of the day, this is exactly what I do, is I just click through them real quick, see how they look. We can see clicks is kind of high. So we'd want it to come down. Here's that Chilean guy. You can see it really bounced. So I'd like it to come back down. That's why it's in the bullpen. These guys are in the bullpen because their setup isn't quite the way I'd like them. So, we see Ford kind of ran up. Again, I'd like Ford quite a bit cheaper. I'm looking for a risk reward of at least 2 to 1. So in some cases, that's why I want it cheaper. That medical device guy, you can see he really dipped down. He's kind of declining. I'd like to see him stabilize before I jump into that. Here's that retail guy. You can see I'd like it around 7. That's where it bottomed recently. And then it ran up on that retail numbers a little bit. But again, if we get a little bit of negativity, might be an opportunity there. And then Sprott uranium, URNM, see it's run up. And again, I'd like that guy cheaper. If we zoom out, we'll see my line. There's my line. So I'd like it around 50. Just from a risk-reward long-term support level, because it only goes up to about 75 or so. But again, if you want to play it shorter term, there's definitely opportunities. It's going to move up and down with uranium, up and down with the XLE. So, and we talked about yin and yang. So that's what we've got on our bullpen right now. So again, a lot of stuff going on. And then also a lot going on with the ETFs. We saw yesterday in the futures, these commodities, a lot of them due to dollar strength, others due to just fears of recession. So a lot of the commodity prices are collapsing, which, again, I think it's going to open up opportunities. So I've been scrambling, trying to find various ETFs, trying to get them in the database, get them in our spreadsheet, so we can see when they present an opportunity. So I've added a number of them. I'll talk about them real briefly, and then we'll jump over to the spreadsheet, and I'll let this guy load a second, and then we'll view some updates I made in the spreadsheet, some enhancements, etc. So corn, we saw corn fell off. Now in the future, and this will be a part 1 game plan topic going forward, so I'm not going to babble about it right now a lot. But there's going to be a difference between commodities that it's easy to increase the supply of. So it's relatively easy. I can plant more corn and grow more corn. So it's easy. That supply is more elastic. Obviously, precious metals, etc., stuff you have to mine, the supply is not as elastic, so I can't increase supply as quickly. And that, in my opinion, that's going to be important for the supply-demand balance, which is what drives the price. So again, that's all I'll say right now, but we'll talk about it more in a part 1. But it's something to consider: is how hard is it to increase the supply of a given commodity when determining, is this a good price? Is it going to go up, going to go down? So we got corn, talked about the euro. This is one on cocoa. Cocoa also took a dive. So I was scrambling to try to find ETF. How do I play cocoa? Here's one. It's called NIB, NIB. So it's, again, the risk reward on these guys isn't necessarily what I'd really like. I want a 2-to-1 or better. So I've got them in the spreadsheet. Now I'll show you in a second how I can see whether they're attractive at any point in time. So try not to miss stuff in chat. It's great you guys are talking. That's what we want. And I'll plug getting more traders involved in a few minutes. So I'll leave that for a second. Another one that Easy Mike recommended, and a great idea, is the transports. We were talking about the dry bulk shipping guy, and he brought up transports, and this is an ETF for the transport sector. And again, fears of recession cause transportation to go down. People say, oh, the economy's going down, therefore we won't be moving stuff around as much. But we know there's supply chain issues, right? And we know there's issues with transportation. So actually, right now they're being able to charge quite a bit because of the supply chain issues. So as Easy Mike said, as soon as that guy bottoms, you go long on transport, because again, there are a lot of tailwinds to that, and it's cyclical. And going into the holidays, right, is UPS, FedEx, all those guys are probably in that ETF. I'd have to look at it in detail, but that would be my bet. And then we talked about the euro guys. So and again, Patreon members, this spreadsheet I'm going to show you, it's always under construction, and I'll tell you about the enhancements I've made this week, and then we'll look at it. But as a Patreon member, you should be granted access to the folder that contains this ETF spreadsheet. I hope to have some others coming out. Again, I'm just swamped with working, and this was a priority this week. And over the 4th of July, I spent a lot of time writing code to do this. So you can see some of the enhancements that we're going to see is now the support and resistance values are now automatically updated daily at the end of day. I have an executable that I've coded, I run at the end of day, which takes values out of my Microsoft Access database, calculates the nearest support and resistance to the last price from pivot points that I have in the database, and it now updates this Google Sheet spreadsheet with that information. I've also got it to update the same executable gets a top and bottom values. Now, the issue with that is I don't have a source yet to automatically provide me a top and bottom value, so I have to manually put that into the database, and if it exists, it will populate. So the question for our BeachBum trading community, and I'll post this in the Discord probably as well for further discussion, is I can do one of two things if it doesn't find a bottom or top value. I can leave it at 0, which says, hey, I couldn't find a value. I don't know what the bottom and top is. So, and that makes it clear that I don't know what that value is. So go add it to the database so it'll fill in. Or I can set it to the current 52-week low for the bottom and a 52-week high for a top if it doesn't find a value. Again, it's not necessarily true, right? The 52-week low may not be the true bottom, and the high may not be the ultimate top, but it at least gives you some idea of the risk reward, but it'll be the same as 52-week. So I'll show you in a second. And also, we'll see there's a link now to the profile for the ETF in the ETF database site in the notes field. So again, a lot of work on ETFs. I'm starting to use these more, less risk. Also, there's inverse ETFs, so we can short things without having to borrow stocks. We don't have carry costs on borrowing stocks. Again, less risk. So you can see a number of our videos as well in that playlist. So let's jump over here, and this is the spreadsheet. And again, I've been, trying to add things to it, different categories for different topics. Now we can see this Chile guy. We've talked about this. Oh, yeah. Okay. I need to fix that probably. Okay. So there's yin and yang. Here's another. Here's the cocoa guy. We added nib. And let's talk about how this works. So you can see these are being pulled directly from the Google Finance functions. And again, thank you to Douglas PC for turning us on to these Google Finance functions. And then it calculates the risk is based on the support and resistance. So again, to be able to automate or to get that updated without manually having to update the support and resistance, that's why I had to automate that process, is somehow find out where's the nearest support and resistance, which I'm now getting out of the database, and it automatically updates those values if it has any data. And so then it can calculate both the risk and reward for the current price and also between the support and resistance levels. And again, the ones highlighted in green says that it's showing a risk reward profile of 2 or greater, which again is what I'm looking for. So again, one of the main reasons I focused on this and put all that effort in there is now I can very quickly scan through these guys and see, okay, who's got a good risk reward profile right now. And then, I can dig into it further. This is current. Here's for 52 weeks, the current year. And then here's top to bottom. Here's support to resistance, nearest support to nearest resistance, and here's total top to bottom. So again, it helps give me and hopefully give you a good profile of what the risk reward currently is for these various ETFs and also the category. So I'm also starting to use this a lot in the live chats of the shows I participate in. People ask me, what ETF do I use to short Bitcoin? Okay, well, BITI. I go here, I can quickly do a find on a commodity. So if we're looking for an opportunity, say in copper, I can just do a find, Control F, enter, find on copper, and now we see, okay, there's the ETF to long copper. We talked about the one for corn. Corn is corn. So we can see right now it's got a pretty decent risk reward, but support resistance isn't great. So it's only just over 1. So and as I mentioned, you can now click on these links in the notes field, and it will take you to the profile in the ETF database for that individual ETF. So if you want to know, okay, we were talking about the FTSE leveraged bull on Europe. If you want to know more about that particular ETF, you can look at its profile. You can get its holdings, etc. In this case, that one's based on an index, so that's not going to be as interesting. We talked about the transport guy, IYT. So again, if I do a find on transport, there's the guy for transportation. And if I go click on the link for that guy, then I can see what is in that particular ETF. So again, I hope that all helps. Again, right now the direct access to that is for our Patreon members. It takes a lot of work. It's still under construction. So, but we hope that helps. If you have any questions about, particular ETFs or a particular category, how to, long oil, long short oil, long short nat gas, etc. Again, it's quick and easy for me or you to find that information now in that spreadsheet. So, just put a comment in, ask in the Discord or Facebook group, hit me up on social media, etc. So again, now you can see, more details about any of these ETFs. Okay, so this guy's tracking an index as well. It's not comprised of a particular stock. So it's tracking the S&P Transportation Index. So, and then that index has a set of stocks in it. So that's good to know. I didn't know that. So if no one has any questions right now about that, then we'll see what else we got. Shopping list. Again, we've been talking in part 1 a lot about, the themes of strategies for hot inflation. The topic is inflation's hot, hot, hot. How do you play that? We've been talking about inflation proofing and recession proofing your portfolio for quite a while. And so, I would recommend, culling your shopping list, make sure it's inflation proof, make sure it's recession proof, make sure it's following the strategies that we've talked about part 1, etc. Again, we're in a bear market, so the expectation is that things in general are going to go down until we bottom and turn. Also, we're headed into this heavy earnings season, so be aware of who's reporting earnings. For the stocks that you're watching, they're in the same sector. Somebody reports earnings because, again, you're going to get sentiment plays, etc. So, again, I hope that all helps. If anybody has any further questions, please post them in our Discord in the comments below, in our Facebook group. Hit me up in social media. Happy to try to answer as I am able. And we just have got 2 requests of the community. First, vote on the poll to let us know when the best time is for these game plans. So far, seems like 10 a.m. has been the best for everybody. But again, if you vote on the poll, we'll try to accommodate everyone as best we can. So it's on the community page on our YouTube channel. And my second request is, it seems, like a lot of traders got beat up in the markets when the bear markets, etc., or could just hopefully benefit from the information that we're trying to share with the trading community. So we hope that you will share this with other traders. Let's build our community for everyone's mutual benefit. Tell two friends, particularly if it's two friends that got beat up in the market and left and they're giving up. I really don't want to see them miss what I believe is going to be the opportunity of a lifetime when the market finally does bottom and turn up. That's when you want to be in the market. And I'm afraid a lot of people left and they're going to miss out. And I really don't want to see that happen. I would really like to help them understand that we can make money in any market. We can make money in this bear market. Again, there's a number of inverse ETFs, so you can short the market, short the indices without actually having to short stock with less risk, etc. So, we can make money in any kind of market, bull market, bear market, range bound market, flat market, boring market, etc. So, let people know that, and then let's bring them into our BeachBum trading community so everyone can benefit. Everyone benefits by a larger, more vibrant community. So let's all do what we can. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help grow the community. So let's work together and let's make it happen. So again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you very much to Spacula, Captain Maddie for the super chats. Again, very, very much appreciated. Again, if there's have any questions, hit us up in the comments, in our Discord, in our social media. And we hope you have great luck and have a great trading week.